Hello and welcome back. My name is Brett. I'm a digital marketing consultant with Clickmill. And as I'm sure you know by now, you're joining in for the Google Ad Grant, the Ultimate Guide, where we are getting you and your nonprofit organization the $10,000 a month Google Ad Grant. And we're just walking you through step by step. We are coming to the end. In this video, we will be going through a checklist and just an overview of your account to make sure that we have completed everything that needs to be done to get you approved for the grant. So if you're with me thus far, just flip over with me here to Google Ads, and we're going to be going through the checklist of the necessary requirements for the Google grant, which you can see below this video. The first requirement that I want to remind you of, and we've talked about this a couple times throughout the course, is that we cannot put billing information into the account. And I have discussed this red bar kind of going across the top of the screen a number of times throughout the course. And this just indicates that your billing information has not been put in, and that is good. We do not want to put in our billing information. The next requirement that we want to double check is we want to be sure we're going to click on our campaign here. And so we've already done that. And you can see that we're in campaign and then overview of our campaign that we have set up. And we want to be sure that the budget is for $329 a day. If you do not have $329 a day, you can go down to settings and then click here on budget, and you can change the amount. But $329 a day times, roughly 30 is $10,000 a month. And so that's the required amount. If it's not set to $329 a day, they will not approve you for the grant. While we're here in settings, the next thing that you want to double check is the bid settings. Now, we have this to maximize clicks right now. Apparently somewhere in making all the videos, it's been changed. So this is good that we're actually doing this review, because I'm actually finding something with this account that needs to be switched before we apply in the next video. So this needs to be maximize conversions. That's the way we've set this whole account up. As we've made the landing pages and made the ads, this is going to be for maximize conversion. So I'm going to change my bid strategy. I'm going to go to conversions, and then it says here, use the maximize conversions bid strategy. And so that's what it's on now, and we're going to save it. So as you can see, we have a budget of $329 a day and a bid strategy of maximize conversions, and both of those are going to be necessary to get the grant. The next two here are even quicker. We want to make sure that we've made one campaign, which if you've done any of this, then you've made a campaign. And you can see here on the left side of my screen, you can see that we have Church Near Me, and this is the campaign. And within the campaign, we need 2 ad groups to be approved for the grant. And so you can see that the campaign, you can see this is a search campaign, so you can see the little search icon there. And then you can see that the ad groups don't have anything by it, and they are underneath the campaign there. So if I click on it, they fold up underneath it. So we've got ad groups. You can also see those by clicking on campaign and then ad group. And you can see that I have 2 ad groups in here. So that is finished. We have 1 campaign, we have 2 ad groups. And then the next thing is that we have 2 ads in each ad group. And so, there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to stay here on campaign so that I can see all of my ad groups, and I'm going to click on ads and extensions. And now you'll see here, so we have the ad group right here, and you can see near me, near me, near me. So we have 3 ads in near me, and it looks like I only have 2 ads in churches in Katy, Texas. So what I will do is, off camera, I will go in, I'll actually make another ad. But so long as we have 2 each, we'll be fine to get the grant. So we have our 4 required ads. The next thing that we want to double check is that we have 10 keywords in each ad group. And so for this one, I'm actually going to click on the ad group, and I'm going to click on keywords. So here you can see that we definitely have more than 10 keywords. One other thing that is a requirement of the grant, and this is one that can be sneaky and kind of get away from people, and this is one of the things that I hear the most from nonprofit staff is, we don't know what's wrong with our keywords. And that is that we cannot have, according to grant policy, single word keywords. So find church near me, that's 4 words, but I can't put church. That will not be qualified. And if you get the grant and then add single word keywords, you will get non-compliance letters and then lose the grant. So at no point should we ever have single word keywords. And so double checking, we don't have any of those in here, and we have more than 10 in this ad group. So that looks good. Then we're going to go over here to near me. So as we come down in near me, we're double checking. Okay, so I don't see any single word keywords, and we definitely have more than 10. And I would also say you don't need 300 keywords. It's not always a numbers game to get a lot of traffic. It's about the quality of the keyword and how well it matches up with your ad. So just keep that in mind as well. I know I've worked with organizations who come on board and their account has 500 keywords, and that's not always helpful. And most of the time, we end up removing a large amount of them. So 10 to 20 keywords, depending on what you're doing, is usually a good start. And then going up or down from there is great. From here, we are going to look at site link extensions. So we're going to go back up to ads here. And actually what I'm going to do is we're in the ad group near me, and we're going to change to my campaign level. And again, ads and extensions. And then you can see we're on ads. We are going to check extensions. So we're going to click there. So what we need to be approved for the grant, according to grant policy, is we need 2 site link extensions and 2 call out extensions. And so you can see here, site link extensions, we have 4. And you'll remember that these make our ads significantly larger. So 4 is why we've created these, because we can show 4 on each ad. And then down here, we have call out extensions, and you can see we have 4 of those as well. And so these are good to go. The next thing that we will want to be sure is completed is we want to make sure that we have a landing page set up. And now you don't have to have a landing page to be approved for the grant, but to actually use the traffic in a reasonable way, without just sending it all to your homepage and losing it. A landing page is a necessity for any real results with the grant. And so if you'll remember, we went through a very long video where we set up a whole landing page, and I'm sure you've set up a landing page and a thank you page. And so you'll remember we've done that. And so that step is finished. The next thing that we want to double check is that we have conversion tracking set up. And so I just want to kind of briefly, before we actually look and say, yes, we have it set up, I just want to tell you why it's necessary that we have conversion tracking set up. Now, there are 2 ways to get approved for the grant, and I want to show you these settings here. We can go to Church Near Me in the campaign and then into settings here, and you'll see we have maximize conversions. Now, the bid setting, you will remember we can have this as maximize clicks as well. Now, if we have maximize clicks, we are only going to be able to bid $2 on any given keyword. And you'll see here, so we have it set to conversions. You'll remember it was just now on clicks, and that's not what we want. Some industries are much more competitive, and $2 won't even get you near anything close to a ranking. Even in non-competitive niches now, the competitive space of Google Ads is becoming more and more filled out. So the price of ads are just going to go up. And so we want to make sure that you can bid as much as you can. And that means we want to maximize conversions. And so in order to do that, we have to have conversions set up. So that requires that we have this set up. And so to see that, we're going to go into Tools, and we're going to go Measurements and Conversions. And here you can see that we have our radius LP, which was landing page conversion, our radius landing page conversion set up. And this is the conversion that's in a radius around the church, roughly 30 miles. And if you remember, this conversion is linked to our landing pages, specifically our thank you page. So when someone puts their email, name and email into our landing page and they get sent over to our thank you page, that is when this is registered. So I will know every single time someone has hit the thank you page. And then, of course, it will create all kinds of numbers and analytic data for me to be gauging how effective my advertising campaigns are. But having conversion tracking set up, this is done. And so we will continue on with our checklist. The last thing that I would say that you absolutely need to do, and I'm just going to come over here to Katy Church, just make sure that your site is SSL encrypted. And we've discussed that a couple times briefly throughout the video series here. You can see HTTPS. That S says that it stands for Secure Socket Layer, and it essentially just means that all of the transactions on the website are secured and encrypted. And so, for instance, with New Church here, this was not set up. I called their domain registrar, GoDaddy or whoever it was, and we got this set up, and it didn't cost any extra. And so, again, I don't know if that's if all domain registrars do this for free now. However, this is the case with their registrar, and so we got this set up really quick. So just make sure that this is set up. And then lastly, one thing I would encourage you to do, and we're not going to do it on this video because it's finished, but go onto your About page and make sure that your mission, the mission of your organization is clearly stated at the top of the About page. This is something in Google Grant policy. However, the review team, they have multiple review teams at Google, and sometimes they check this and sometimes they don't. So I've had times where I've actually forgotten to check this, and there is no mission on the About page, and we still get approved for the grant for whatever organization. So you might get lucky, but I would just encourage you to go in and make sure it's clearly stated on the About page. And if you're a church, I would put it on your About page. And if you have a missions page, I would also put it on your missions page. And the reason that I say that is oftentimes these review committees are based in India. And when they look for your mission, they go onto a church organization, they do not understand that missions is like an outreach and it's not the mission of your business. And so they will actually sometimes look under the missions tab instead of your About page. And so just have your organization's mission under the About and or missions tab to make that as clear as possible, because if they don't see it right when they look the first time, they're going to decline your approval for the grant, and then you're just going to have to resubmit it, and then maybe they'll get it right the next time. So just kind of increase your odds with that. And that is everything. So if you're meeting all of those requirements right now, you should be good to go to follow along in the next video, where we're going to be going back into our Google for Nonprofits account, which, if you remember, you set up at the very beginning of this course, and we are going to be clicking that enroll button. And so I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we will actually be enrolling for the grant. I'll see you there.